What's going on, everybody? Sports expert here, and we are here doing our Week 9 college football top 25 rankings. It wasn't the most interesting week in college football, but, we do have some changes in the rankings, which will definitely make a difference here. So, before we start the video, please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, turn on the post notification bell, like the video, comment what you think if you're a college football fan. We do these ranking videos every day, and sometimes we do more college football content during the week. So, and we'll probably have some more college football content out this week. We'll see, though. But keep your notifications on for that and hit that subscribe button. So let's get started with the rankings. At 25, I have the Liberty Flames. They are coming off a 41-14 win against the BYU Cougars. So a massive win for Liberty at home. Independent versus independent show off. Liberty was able to run the ball very well. And, BYU just didn't have an answer for it. It's not like BYU had a massive amount of injuries. They just, didn't play well. I mean, Satake should have taken the Washington job. Now BYU is just in a wreck right now. Just not ideal. This BYU team just doesn't look ideal, and it's just really tough to see. But this Liberty team, Hugh Freeze is doing a solid job, especially with all the injuries they've had. At 24, I have the Oregon State Beavers coming off a home win against the Colorado Buffaloes, 42-9. Easy win for them, not too surprising there, as Colorado won last week versus Cal, but, Cal's not that great, and at the same time, they were at home with the sellout. It was the opposite as they had to go on the road. Easy win for Oregon State with Culberson, the backup, played well enough. Still one of the better backups in the country. At 23, I have the Cincinnati Bearcats coming off a 29-27 close win versus SMU. It looked like Cincinnati was going to roll away with this game, but then SMU threatened with the comeback, but at the end, it wasn't enough for SMU. They went for 2 to tie the game, missed it. Cincinnati did a solid job being able to, stay in the game and be able to win it, and they stay in the top 25. At 22, I have the South Carolina Gamecocks coming off a 30-24 win at home against Texas A&M. Texas A&M is really struggling despite all the 5 stars they've recruited, but South Carolina's done a solid job this season as they're 5-2. Shane Beamer has now gotten wins over Kentucky and Texas A&M, and you got to praise it. I mean, he's done a solid job over there, even with lackluster quarterback play from Spencer Rattler. So the South Carolina team definitely is impressing, but maybe they're not the greatest team, but I think they deserve to be ranked at this point. At 21, I have the LSU Tigers coming off at 30, a massive 45-20 win over Ole Miss. They were down 17-3 early in the game, but then outscored Ole Miss 42-3 over the later part of the game. So, Jaden Daniels went off over 100 yards rushing, didn't turn over the ball. So, Jaden Daniels, big game for him. He's been very inconsistent for around his whole career, but, got a big win here. So, yeah. At 20, I have the Kentucky Wildcats coming off a bye week. So they play Tennessee next week. That'll be an interesting one in Knoxville. So maybe they can pull off an upset. At 19, I have the Tulane Green Wave. They are coming off a big 38-28 win versus Memphis. They may have only won by 10, but don't let the scoreboard think of what you think about this game, because Tulane absolutely dominated this game much more than the scoreline shows. So, yeah, I mean, Michael Pratt had another solid game. The Tulane defense was on point for most of the game. So, Willie Fritz is doing a great job, and Tulane is now 7-1, has to be the favorite to win the AAC after a 2-10 season, which is absolutely unbelievable. At 18, I have the UNC Tar Heels. They are coming off a bye. Drake May will be looking for more. I can't fully remember who they play, but it should be a game that they win. At 17, I have the Syracuse Orange coming off a 27-21 loss against the Clemson Tigers. Tough loss for them. They were up 21-7, but kind of got screwed by the officials. But, played a solid Clemson team. Cape Clemson came in and saved the day for Clemson, and Syracuse couldn't do much about it. So, Syracuse, not a big issue there. But with them, as they played a really good game, but tough loss as they fall to 6-1. At 16, I have the Penn State and Nittany Lions, as Clemson is easily the favorite to win the ACC now. As a Penn State, they are coming off a big 38-17 win against Minnesota, something like that. Minnesota was down to their backup quarterback that didn't fare well for them, as Mohamed Ibrahim could not carry, the load the whole game. So Penn State was able to, dominate this game. Sean Clifford had a really nice game, had a few touchdown passes, and if they can get the offense going there, they got Ohio State next week at home. At 15, I have the Utah Utes. They are coming off a bye week, if I'm correct. Yes, they are coming off of the bye week, so they play early next week. They play they play before Saturday, so yeah. Can't remember who they play exactly, but yeah. Oh yeah, they play Washington State. At 14, I have the Illinois Fighting Illini. They're also coming off a bye week. So, and they are easily the favorite to win the Big Ten West now with the losses from Minnesota and Purdue. Purdue, man, not having a good morning. At 13, I have the UCLA Bruins. They are coming off a blowout loss on the road versus Oregon. Maybe not blowout, but it wasn't pretty for them. Oregon definitely dominated them. So, DTR didn't play his best football. Oregon was just very smart. Great coaching from Dan Lanning. That's the thing. That's why I picked Oregon coaching. I just don't trust Chip Kelly. And Dan Lanning, first-year coach, absolutely outcoached him by a mile. No doubt about that. Bo Nix looked great, but, UCLA couldn't do much about him. At 12, I have the Ole Miss Rebels coming off that blowout loss at LSU, man. What a terrible job by Lane Kiffin's team. Jackson Dart just isn't very good. Let's be real. LSU, they were down in this game by a couple scores, but Ole Miss really just crapped the bed here. So, Ole Miss, just not ideal. At 11, I have the USC Trojans coming off a bye week. So, that's 6-1. At 10, I have the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They're coming off a 43-15 win over Boston College. They did cover the 20.5 spread, which is not surprising at home. So, Sam Hartman did his thing. A.T. Perry as well. Dave Clawson doing a great job over there at Wake Forest. Wonder if he'll get a bigger job, sooner rather than later. But I got Wake Forest in my top 10 now, as they've deserved it. At 9, I have the Oklahoma State Cowboys coming off a big win at home against Texas. The defense was able to contain Quinn Ewers, especially in the later parts of the game. So, if you're Oklahoma State, you're feeling confident even with the loss to TCU. So, yeah, but as the home team, they get the win, and Spencer Sanders is doing a solid job, better than I thought. At 8, I have the Oregon Ducks coming off that blowout win versus UCLA. Bo Nix dominated. Dan Lanning dominated the coaching. With his coaching, Oregon was able to, do all the fundamental things that UCLA really just couldn't do. So, lots of mistakes from UCLA, and Oregon was able to capitalize off of those. That's what good teams do. So, you got to give it to Oregon here. They're definitely a contender for the Pac-12. At 7, I have the TCU Horned Frogs. They were down 28-10 to Will Howard, the backup quarterback for the Kansas State Wildcats. But, TCU was able to fight back in this one. Max Duggan did a great job. Quentin Johnson had the go-ahead touchdown. He's literally an NFL receiver playing college right now, just to let you know, Quentin Johnson. That's how good he is. So, give me TCU here at 7. At 6, I have the Alabama Crimson Tide coming off a comeback win, or bounce back win against Mississippi State 30-6. I knew Alabama was going to win this game comfortably. A lot of people thought they could lose this game because of Mississippi State's passing game. But at the same time, Mississippi State really just can't score on the road, They're a home-dependent team, so it's like Will Rogers, he's a solid quarterback, but he's horrible on the road, and that really makes you think, can he play in professionally? He is horrible on the road. Cannot play anywhere outside of Mississippi. That bowl game last year, he was horrible against Texas Tech. Horrible when they were massive favorites because it wasn't at home. He just can't play at home, and that's just a fact. Outside of home, and that's just a fact. And Alabama was able to capitalize off of that. At 5, I have the Clemson Tigers coming off a big win at home against the 6-0 Syracuse Orange. They definitely still deserve top 5. So, D.J. Ungole got benched in this one, but Cade Klubnik was able to come in and save the day. Will Shipley, after the fumble, bounced back with a long 50-yard touchdown run. And, Clemson's defense stepped right up at the end with the interception. Definitely the favorite in the ACC now. At 4, I have the Michigan Wolverines. They are coming off a bye week. So, after that Penn State win, big win, coming off a bye week, still having them at 4. At 3, I have the Tennessee Volunteers, still having them at 3 after a 65-24 win against UT Martin. They did their job, and, not too surprising, garbage time points for UT Martin there. At 2, I have the Georgia Bulldogs. They are coming off a bye week as well. So, yeah, not much to talk about there. And at 1, I have the Ohio State Buckeyes coming off a 54-10 win at home against Iowa. Dominated the Iowa defense in the second half. Struggled in the first half a bit, but, Spencer Petras had another terrible game. Alex Padilla came in and played horrible. Only 3 points offensively for Iowa. They had one touchdown. It was a defensive touchdown early in the game. So, solid game for Ohio State. C.J. Stroud still probably the favorite for the Heisman. So I appreciate everyone being here. Sports expert here. And Jackson Smith and Jigba got hurt again, which is not ideal for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So I appreciate everyone being here. Sports expert here. Please hit the subscribe and review to the channel. Turn on the post notification bell. Like the video. Comment what you think. I'm out, guys. Sports expert here. Peace.